10 years ago, a funny thing happened to Kirsan Ilumzhinov.
It was happened in 17th September, I remember, in Moscow. It was happened in my apartment.
At the time, he was the elected president of Kalmykia, long before President Putin changed things so that Kalmyks can no longer elect their leader, but simply have one appointed for them instead. On a trip to Moscow, in his apartment in the capital, Ilumzhinov was abducted by aliens.
I was taken by my apartment in Moscow to this spaceship, and we went to some star, and after that I asked them, please bring me back, because next day I should come to Kalmykia, to Elista, and go to Ukraine. Yeah, and no problem, Kirsan, we have time. Yeah.
How much of that experience do you recall? Can you describe to me what actually happened?
They are like people like ours. Yeah, they have the same mind, the same vision, and so on. And I talked with them. Yeah, I understand that we are not alone in this old world. Yeah, we are not unique. Yeah.
I did wonder, but couldn't quite bring myself to ask.
I'm not crazy man, yeah, but after that, when I gave the first interview in Radio Freedom in Russia 5 years ago, thousands, not hundreds, thousands people write a letter to me, calls by phone. Oh, Kirsan, you are a politician and you are not afraid to say about it. From the United States, every year, more than, it's official statistic, every year more than 4,000 people, who contacted such people. My theory, chess comes from the space. Why? Because the same rules, 64, this is 64 squares, black and white, and the same rules in Japan, in China, in Qatar, in Mongolia, in Africa, but the rules are the same. Why? I think it seems maybe from the space.
A UFO flies into the area where Damian Schaefer lives. They decide that they are going to locate him and pay him a visit in the middle of the night. Now, he is only 5 years old, and someone from the UFO comes to visit him in his room. This is Damon Schaefer's account of what happened. I was 5 years old, sleeping between my mom and dad, when in the middle of the night I was fully awakened. But I was feeling very at peace, not disturbed in any way, and a voice spoke to me in my mind, a male voice. Hello, we are travelers, and there is something special about you. Would you like to go with us for a short while? And Damien said, I got a little worried. I've never been spoken to in my mind before, but at this time, I didn't know much about the world because I was only 5. So I asked, you won't hurt me, will you? If I can come with you, will you bring me back? And what about my parents? And the traveler said back, I promise, we have other children here. You will be introduced, it will be fun, and your parents won't even know you were gone. It's your choice. I answered back in my mind, well, that seems okay. The next thing I know, I'm floating towards my roof above the bed, above my parents, and I go straight through the roof and outside. and at this point I have some missing time. Now at this point it seems that most of the time these abductions happen, there are experiments run to extract DNA, seemingly like the Genesis 6 account, and the taking of DNA to mix different species and basically do a breeding program. Well, after this, Damien writes, after the missing time, I remember being in a semicircle room with 3 doors, one to the left, one straight ahead, and one to the right. As far as I can tell, I was on a spacecraft. The middle door opens, and a tall human in an Air Force-looking jumpsuit walks in, and he summons a group of children from the door on the left. All of them were wearing this jumpsuit. I was told it was for life support and for breathing where you normally can't breathe. At this point, I realize I'm wearing one of these jumpsuits also. The next part was like bits and pieces are missing. I remember he introduced me vocally to all the children, while most every other communication was in my mind. He told me the names of these kids out loud. I can't remember the children's name, but there were different races and ages ranging from about 5 to 14, and around 10 total. At this point, we were all sitting around chatting, although I can't remember the conversation. Then we were led into the room on the left. I seen a big square window, and all I could see was stars and space, up, down, right, and left. It seemed we were in space, outer space. Then we were instructed to interact with a hovering, seemingly randomly rotating cube. It was flashing vibrant colors and making sounds. Whenever you touched it, it would make a sound that kind of reminded me of a video game, and you were supposed to try to touch the side when it was lit up. After the cube game, I had more missing time. Then we were all in the semicircular room again. We got to know each other and were best of friends now, and giving each other hugs and saying our farewells and goodbyes. There is a strange feeling that we were all supposed to meet up again under similar circumstances. Whether that has happened yet, I don't know, so I can't say yes or no. The memories may have been wiped, as it seems many of the memories are. Then I'm standing on a circle, slightly elevated off the floor, and now that I look back, it kind of reminds me of the transporter on Star Trek. But now I'm waving to the children and the one man, then floating back down through the roof, landing in bed, falling back asleep between my mom and dad.